Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another incredible interview, another installment of our Swan series, but also an incredible artist who does a lot of interesting things in between swans, right? We've got Wee-Oh, we've got a past tenure with Xiu Xiu, who are friends of the show. So it is my privilege and honor to introduce Christopher Pravdica. How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me, Jake.
Of course. Um, a little disclaimer to you and to the viewers. I got my lower braces in today, so there may be some speech things here and there.
Uh-huh.
Not much I can do about it, so we're gonna go with the flow, you know?
All right. Day one of lower teeth braces.
Yes, sir.
At
Well,
the top, you had the top in there.
yep. Before I hopped on this call, I was listening to the new record, right? Birthing.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine, Howard, who's a friend of the band, sent it
Yeah.
to me. Incredible album, I have to say. And I'm very lucky to be joined by you so we can maybe discuss some of the not confidential parts of it, you know?
Okay.
Do you mind describing to me the recording process? I mean, I'm assuming, right after tour, that incredible US tour, which I was lucky to
Mm-hmm.
see, going right into the studio to just perfect this album, if you wouldn't mind telling us.
Yeah, we did it. We did it slightly different than usual. In the past, To Be Kind and Glowing Man, we had a little bit of a break after tour, which I think was felt as like it took some of our steam out. Like we wanted to catch. I think both those times we all felt like we wish we just did it right when we at the peak of our powers. Uh, but that's a hit or miss thing. I think that goes both ways. But other thing was we spent a lot more time in the studio as a band, and this I think this one we spent a little bit less time uh, in the studio at first, and then continued after adding like in overdubs and some songs came almost completely after the actual studio time because Michael stays in the studio with different musicians and keeps working on it, but instead of dedicating so much time to us all being there and all getting the basic tracks. We just got kind of we got most of it done and the skeleton of other things, and we finished kind of at our leisure after, which I thought was a really cool thing. We did a little bit of that on the beggar too. But I think because that worked so well, we were able to shrink the actual studio time, which I think was good in the end. I think it allowed because it working on the clock is a little it's a little stifling and it's nice to be able to spread out and just like I'm sitting where I am. I added a lot of stuff to the record just in this chair uh, with no pressure of people looking at me and no time, no real time frame. So I think that that was a cool thing. I think you can. I think that probably helps the record a little bit. I hope it does.
Oh yeah, I think the addition of these cool little dips and dots around the record to make it really interesting really help. I love the electronic parts in some of the
Mm-hmm.
songs. Overall, it's so interesting. And as Michael said, it's the last big sound record. I'm wondering what your thoughts are and if you notice anything different on that recording session compared to Be Kind, for example.
Uh, I mean, other than just the amount of time and the regular changes that we've all gone through, not really. Still the the Swans thing and the Michael thing, and yeah, I don't think there was just some technical things, but not really. The spirit is still the same. I think that's what will change is the when he says the big sound. I think it's the spirit of things will change.
Sure. And I would like to know your thoughts, right? How did you go into it feeling knowing this is kind of like the big boom?
I mean, it's a little. I mean, I guess first I'll say that I never thought it would go this far. From the day that I was asked to be in Swans, I never thought this is what the outcome. So already well past, like well past my even liberal expectations for how things would have worked out. But it's sad. Yeah, it's always like when we ended the Glowing Man tour, and it was kind of like the end, and I didn't think I would be in the band anymore, and that was a sad time, and it does feel a little bit like that, as but it seems like there's just always something to do. Something happens. He's going to do something one way or the other. I would be honored to be part of it in any way. So, and I would love, I mean, and I'd be more than honored. I'd want to like, I gun for that position. I really want to be involved in whatever he does, like going forward. I want to be in the like whatever the next phase is.
Yeah, I'm really excited, honestly. Like looking at Young God Records and looking at like Akron Family, who are one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite finds of the past year. Maybe even like a hint of that would be so refreshing and interesting. And I think we find that on the record too. I mean, with like these more melodic
Mm-hmm.
passages, which is not unlike Swans, but also not like Swans in a
Yeah.
sense. I think it gives us a really interesting look into the future, a really bright look into the future. And I think you have a place in that, honestly.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Of course. And I mean, now I guess the next thing for Swans is that big tour, right? Like your
Yeah.
US fall tour. What are your thoughts going into this?
Well, the only thing I can ever think about beforehand is rehearsals. Rehearsals will be I never know I don't know what to expect for this one. I usually know what to expect, but I think I have I don't know where it's going to go, because normally what we'll be doing is writing a whole new set. We'll maybe do like have one or two previously recorded songs or a few choices, and then they all disappear, and then we wind up having like a whole new set.
Mhm.
Where this tour will not really have a new record attached to it at the end of it. So I don't know what mix of. I'm sure there will be some amount of new material that may or may not ever be like studio recorded, and maybe the chance there won't be. And
Mhm.
then if that's the case, then we'll be doing previously written songs, which I imagine will reinterpret a lot of do. So I think maybe like the big, which is still a huge writing process, just because he always shows up with his words written. How we play to how he sings is what we're always writing in rehearsals. So regardless if they're old songs or new songs, it's kind of like a long arrangement and writing session.
Beautiful. Would you be open to another live album similar to the one you released? What was it, like fall of last year?
The live rope.
Yeah, Live Rope. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he'll do that. Usually what those are fundraisers for the studio record.
Uh-huh.
They're not like releases unto themselves, although sometimes they're worthy of it and come back as get re-releases, actual releases. But like the live rope is not on the streamers, right? You
I don't think so.
No, no. And there's no and just what was pressed was sold, and that's it for now. People see I love the way it sounds, so I would like to, yeah, I would like to have a documentation of where we go on this tour. It'd be cool.
Hmm.
I
It
don't know
would
what
be
he'll do with
awesome.
it. Yeah.
When I saw you guys in Atlanta in April, I think it was April 19th. I remember it was a Tuesday, a crazy Tuesday. And I think you were one of the most important parts on stage with your presence, right? I mean, headbanging, doing like eight things at once, especially on like songs like The Hanging Man, where
Uh-huh.
you are the mainstay, you are the brick, the wall, holding everything together. How do you keep that energy up? I mean, night after night after night if it was any other band, okay, but it's Swans. It's Michael
Yeah.
Gira. You're with Christoph Hahn, who's like the scariest guy ever. He's nice, but like you look at the dude and he's like, holy crap. Like all the coolest people on one stage at one time.
Yeah. So the question is, how do I like keep my shit together?
Yeah.
Uh, he's got to be stupid enough to try, I guess.
I love that. Well, beautiful. And my next series of questions is going to be on Weo, right? You
Mm-hmm.
had that release in 23, which is a really interesting like amalgamation of almost everything you've worked on with Swans, electronic stuff, Xiu Xiu, and your past bands with like the indie influence. It's got a little bit of everything. Have you been working on more stuff, and will we see it?
Yeah, yeah. I am almost done. I think I got a record. I'll go to I did a show in Montreal with Brian Chase on drums, and he is recording the drums on the next record. So that's what I'm in the middle of right now is recording drums, and but the songs are written. I think all the parts are there. I got more than enough for an LP, so I don't think I'll have it done in time for like when Swans are on tour, but maybe
Mhm.
like in the middle of those tours, it'll probably be coming out, or after I'll wait till after because I want to tour it. I want to
Yeah.
after I want to tour WEO. I want to at least do shows. So I started off with one already, and it felt good. And yeah, I'm ready to jam on that. I think it'll be good. It's not like the first one. Not like the first one. It's a little bit more like this, a continuation of the second one.
Mhm.
So it'll be the third one. How the years fly by.
Oh, it's the trilogy all over again.
Yeah.
Now, I really love your second release. Keeping it interesting, and I'd love to see that continued on. I think one of the strongest suits of Swans, like members outside, it's just the side projects are immaculate, right? Because um you have Thor with water damage, which is like insane. I
Mm-hmm.
wish I could have caught him.
I saw him.
Insane. Yeah, how was it?
It was good. It was really good.
Nice. Yeah, they played the Earl in Atlanta, which is 21 plus. I couldn't make it.
Is that
Um
where you saw us?
no, I saw you at the Variety.
Oh, is it the Variety?
It was crazy. Insane show.
Oh yeah, now I remember the Variety.
Yeah, it's a weird venue, but I love it. Um and then of course you have Insect Dark
Mm-hmm.
and like Luna Honey, which isn't really, I mean, kinda like I'd count it because I love Luna Honey. They're also friends of the show.
Yeah.
But just all these incredible things. How do you keep yourself thinking creatively? Like doing right now it's two projects at once, right? And kind of two completely different projects. And I'm assuming more and more as Swans kind of fizzes out. How do you keep yourself in that right mental state to continue working creatively and to continue giving your best output?
Well, I guess you don't. There's no way to always, it comes and it goes. It's like it
Mhm.
just gotta. It's like a way these waves that ebb and flow, and I can sometimes I make the mistake of ignoring it. But I can always tell when I'm like at a point with music where I just say I don't want to hear another note. I don't want to hear another beat. I don't want to know anything about anybody's music. I don't want to know about anything about my music. Uh, and then I have to reset. And then after I reset is that's the part where it gets tricky. Like the wave will come and sometimes you don't ride it right back in. But it feels just like riding a wave, like a wave. Like I feel something like that. I have a thought and I just it has to happen. And I plug all my stuff in, and then it usually starts with just like diddling around a few notes here, and then it all of a sudden I got all this stuff going on, and I got a whole nother like I'm working on all it. It just like pours out of you once you just open the gate. It's frustrating when you also think that's happening and you're attempting, and it's just like frustration and like nothing comes out. It just like just attempts, but nothing lands. So you just got to ignore those moments. And but you can't stay all the time. I mean, some people must. I'm sure some people like Prince or something, but I can't do it all the time. I need to like stop listening to music. And music is like really annoying when you've had like enough of it. I don't. Everything sounds wrong when after a certain point.
I think I agree. I love how you put that. Riding a wave. I don't think I've heard that metaphor before, but it works perfectly. Usually I go with food metaphors. I love barbecue. And I
Yeah,
think that's another one that would kind of work, you know? You don't want to overcook something, you don't want to
yeah,
undercook something. Got to find that sweet spot.
yeah. You
But I
don't want to
love the way
attempt
you put
cooking
it.
when you got not enough heat going on.
Oh
Come on.
yeah. And especially, you got to let the fires
Yeah,
burn, turn it to what coals, let
yeah.
it smolder. I love barbecue. Next time we come to Atlanta, you know
All
what?
right,
Next
let's
time we
do
come
it.
to Atlanta, we'll make it happen. And speaking of that,
Yeah,
I know I was talking to Christoph about, coming to Atlanta, and I just want it, on video officially because last time for the Beggar tour, I was like shitting my pants, like scared that a tour that you guys weren't gonna come down here. So I just want it on video, like y'all are coming to Atlanta, right?
Oh, I was gonna ask you.
Oh, okay.
Want me to Google it? I
Hey,
think it's on Google already.
I'll book you guys.
No,
I'll
no,
book you guys.
the tour is already booked. I mean, I vaguely remember Atlanta being on. I did not commit it to memory.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, is it Googleable? Googleable?
I'm not sure.
I think so.
Googleable. It's the moment
I
to.
don't, I'm not going to waste time. I can't. I need my reading glasses anyway. But
Sure. Well,
maybe I'm sure Atlanta's on there. Let's just say it. Let's hope. At least I hope it's on there.
I hope too. Again, I can't keep stressing enough how incredible of a show it was, and I'm hoping that when you tour WEO,
Yeah.
you'll make it down here again. Because I
Hmm.
mean, we have a history of harboring Swans projects.
Yeah.
Might as well keep it up. You know?
Atlanta's where I met Michael.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
do you want? Are you comfortable telling that story?
Sure. Yeah, it was I was in a band called the Gunga Din. We were playing at a place called the Vortex
Oh yeah.
in High Point.
Yep.
And the guitar player of Gunga Din was the bass player in Swans for Swans Are Dead tour.
Hmm.
And so when I met Michael, he had just it had been I think like a year or two since maybe 2 years since he stopped doing Swan. So he was just living in Atlanta with Jarbo, and he came to our show because his bass player was having a show, and that's where I met him. I was like 22, 23. How old are you?
I'm 15.
I thought you were gonna be like 22 or 20. And I say you look like you're 15. You actually are
No,
15.
not there yet.
You are 15. So how old were
Yeah.
you at the show? You were 14 when you came to the?
I was 14 when I met Christoph, 14 when I
Oh,
met Michael. And I told him I'm going to interview you, and he laughed. So
okay.
someday, I'm in contact actually with the publicist. He doesn't want to do anything on video, so someday it'll happen.
Yeah. How is it that you're so young and doing all this stuff, like going to swan shows and doing interviews?
The real reason is because I saw some dude do it on YouTube, like a kid,
Uh-huh.
and he interviewed like my favorite band at the time, and I was kind of inspired, but also kind of jealous, like really jealous. Like I didn't know we could do that. You
Yeah.
know, why aren't we doing that? And then you see all these cool shows come to town, but as a 14-year-old, you don't have 30 bucks to spend on a show. That's a great price. You don't have 30 bucks to spend on a show.
Yeah.
And also you want to meet the artist.
Yeah.
What's a good compromise? Well, let me just do a little interview here and there, you know?
Wow, I got you. That's a great way to do it. I'll tell you a story. You got time for a story?
I got time for plenty.
That we played in Greece at this cool venue. It was like outside. It was kind of it was looked like they did plays or something there. It was
Uh-huh.
a amphitheater, like bench seating, but it was outside with a big giant rock behind us. It was a huge rock cliff behind us,
Uh-huh.
and cool show. And we were there all day, setting up, and at some point, the people working there said there was a delivery for us, a rent from a rental company, and and we were all like, we none of us. They're saying that we ordered something from an instrument rental company,
Hmm.
and okay, well, send them back. Let's see what it is. Like we were all thinking somebody else did it. We don't know. Nobody knows what's going on. We want to get to the bottom of it. And these two kids come in, a guy and a girl, and they must have been. They looked like they were 16, like 17, and they had a guitar case, and they had some paperwork, and like they're like, we had this is the guitar you guys ordered, and this was the tours that you saw. There's no electric guitar. We don't have electric guitar. There was no electric guitar in that set, and we're like, none of us were just all looking at each other going like, no one ordered. And they showed us this like printout of an email with like something like written from no, I don't know, just like the order form of like it meant something. And I'm like, well, the first thing I was like, well, let me see what guitar it is. And it was which would have been telling, like even if there was anyone who ordered a guitar, it would have been a specific guitar.
Hmm.
But anyway, of course, the kid opens up the guitar, and it's like a Frankenstein. It's like a weird, like like weird pieces. Like I've never seen a good. Like it was a no name, odd guitar,
Yeah.
Frankencaster.
Hey, Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah. And which would clearly, I don't know how you would order one of those, just like bring us a random guitar like situation. No, it was clear to me immediately when I saw that guitar that these kids made up this email, made up this thing, brought this random guitar, and just wanted into the show, like just wanted to be into the show. And now they were already in; they'd already made their way in, and so I immediately was super happy for them, and locked up. We didn't know it was some mistake, but you're welcome to stay, hang out, enjoy this, because he was acting like he'd never heard who we are, and
Swans who?
yeah, exactly. He did the whole thing, and I was like, and he came up to me after the show, still sticking with the bit that he'd never heard of us, but like somehow it was like the most amazing thing. He's like, didn't even know music could be like that, and it was like this amazing thing, and that it changed his whole entire life, and everything's different for him now that we played this show. And he asked me to sign the guitar, and I did.
Beautiful.
I signed it, which I knew was his guitar the whole time.
I love that.
And it was because that's how I was when I wasn't as young as you, but I was always sneaking in the show. I was too young to get into the shows, and I was sneaking in any which way I could. And sometimes the bands would help me. Like some of my heroes helped me sometimes.
Yeah.
Like Lowe helped me get into their show. Alan pulled me aside. He saw me
He's
trying
so
to
cool.
get in, and he pulled me in when I was a young kid. And what's the famous drummer from Flaming Lips? The guy like doesn't play drums anymore. You know the
Uh,
Flaming Lips.
I love the Flaming Lips. They're coming to
The,
Atlanta.
the drummer, yeah, the drummer used to be just the drummer, but then he became like the songwriter. He's like the
Oh, shoot.
composer. Yeah,
What's his
I forget
name?
his name. Steve, I want to say I can't. I'm not going to even try to remember.
I
But
know who
I
you're talking
tried
about. Yeah.
when they were not huge. So I wanted to get into their show, and he had the stamp, and
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
licked his hand and rubbed the stamp on, and I walked in with the super cool. So anytime I can help kids get into the show, I'll always do it.
It's a core memory. I mean, it's so cool. Like, I remember being outside the variety and like that tension because they don't have the list and doors are open. They don't have the list.
Yeah.
And it's like, all that bull. And then finally they pull it out. The lady's like smiling at me. I gave her my like ID that I got like a month ago specifically for the show, and then she gives me these two tickets with zeros, 0.00 on it.
Uh-huh.
I agree what they were saying. I mean, a Swan show is impeccably incredible. And it is life changing. It is kind of insane. Like the show I went to before that was Queens of the Stone Age,
Yeah.
and then like Billy Joel. So seeing Billy Joel, Queens of the Stone
Queens
Age, and then Swans,
Swans.
like your brain matter
Yeah,
can't
you
take
got
it.
fast track, bro.
Yeah, but I love that you're doing
You
that.
saw
I
Billy
really
Joel
appreciate it.
first.
Yeah,
And then the next obvious choice is Queens of the Stone Age, and then the next more than obvious choice
even more
is
obvious.
Swans.
Well, I mean, we still have 10 minutes before my Zoom's gonna kick me out because
Are we live
screw.
on Zoom right now?
Yeah,
How many people are on there?
no one. It's just
Oh,
us. But this
it's
is how
just
I do
us.
them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Do you want to tell any more like interesting stories? Because we got time.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna think. I was gonna ask you some stories. How did you? What about what led to Swans from Queens of the Stone Age?
Um, I'm gonna be so real. It was like I'm not sure if you're aware, but Swans is very like big in like the internet nerd kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
aware.
So, so I was watching a video on Fantano,
Mm-hmm.
as one does,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember seeing he reviewed soundtracks for The Blind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And looking at the comment, I didn't know who it was. I thought it was like a small band. He's, helping out
Yeah,
a small band.
yeah,
And then you look at the comments and it's like, I never thought he would interview this legend. And the next one's like, this is my favorite album ever. And then the next one's like, this is the best band to ever exist. And then listening to that, that's what every Joe Schmo says about every band.
yeah.
So you can't really trust it. And then I was in science class. Okay, not too proud of it, but I pirated it and listened to the whole thing off Scratch, which is like a coding website.
Okay.
Horrible quality. Like you can't really manage anything. But then you hear Helpless Child. My jaw drops. I'm in the middle of science class studying for a test, and I just stop doing what I'm doing. I'm just listening to it. And then I go home and, go on Spotify and listen to the whole thing. And then it takes you in. And then it's been kind of downhill ever since.
Then you sucked up the whole entire discography.
I mean, even now, I'm not the whole entire
You
discography.
haven't completed the whole thing yet.
I do little bits and pieces,
Yeah,
just like with
yeah,
music. It's
yeah.
a very taxing thing, but it's rewarding. But I started with like Cop and did all that heavy stuff. My
Hmm.
favorite was like Leaving Meaning and The Knot. Like
Yeah,
holy shit, The Knot blew my mind because that's not on streaming. You
no,
gotta like dig for it.
yeah.
You gotta find it, and then you find it, and it's so rewarding. And then of course like just that in between stuff that's super atmospheric and liberating, and that's kind of like the soundtrack to middle school.
So how long between when you discovered soundtracks to the live to seeing us play?
Um, 4 months.
No shit.
I mean, I knew it's one of the bands where like you're gonna see him.
Yeah, yeah, I
Like
know, but like, but like you had discovered for like you like first heard it,
yeah.
and and then you were like, let me like, and then we just happened to be coming to town 4 months.
Well, I'll
Like,
tell you the funny story. I was supposed to see Ween. I bought
yeah,
tickets. Later on, I'd interviewed their drummer, and I'm actually, friends. But I just like I loved Ween, and I wanted to see them. They're playing on a Friday night. Couldn't be more perfect. Opening night of the tour, and then some crap happens backstage. Mickey has some mental health things he's got to go deal
yeah.
with, and the tour gets canceled like a month before. And then I noticed that Swans was coming to town, and every single night I just dream of it and dream of it and dream of it until it became like a thing I just couldn't stop thinking about. And one day I write, and Christoph does a post about a cat, and then I write down, hey, would you want to be interviewed by a 15-year-old? And then there you
Wow.
go. Okay, well, I told you a story. You tell me one, okay?
Like, I need context. You gotta like,
Any interesting stories off the last tour? Then let's go. The Beggar.
I can't think of it. That's a too wide. I did one already.
Yeah.
My brain will lock up. What about I've been looking at these TikToker, this live TikTok show, the kid Dean and Parker that debate the Trump people.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, but it so it made me feel like when you were, I didn't realize we were going on TikTok live. So I feel like we're apparently you can't say anything on TikTok live. Like
No,
where it's a
it's
bunch of words you can't say.
this won't be on TikTok. No, I'm not on TikTok.
We're
It's
on YouTube live.
there you go.
Yeah, that one.
YouTube, because YouTube at least like I feel like it's more wholesome. I don't need to
Yeah,
cut anything up.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
whole, even though it's got its own problems or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But
Well, those
here,
dudes are getting their feeds kicked off all the time because someone says the wrong word in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like any context.
You can't say kill. You have to say
Yeah,
unalive.
you can't. Yeah, that's right. You have to say unalive.
I can't even.
They don't. They haven't refined their bots.
Nope.
The bots just hear the word and go bing, and then they attack.
Here, tell me about your first tour with Swans.
Ooh, the first tour.
Yeah.
That was fun. That was a long time ago, dude. I remember we started in Philadelphia. The first show was in Philadelphia. I was so nervous. That was the last time I was nervous, though. Just that first show, I was like a bundle of nerves going on stage. And as soon as we hit the stage, though, I knew that we could all do it, and that I could do it, and that because it was the first time that I'd been in like the headlining band, like the real headlining band,
Yeah.
like headline plenty of shitty shows and shitty bands, but this was the first time I got to feel the real power, and I was so nervous I was gonna fuck it up, and I didn't. And it was great. I loved it, and yeah, me and Michael were roommates through most of the tour. Like when we were in hotels, we'd all me and Michael were, because I was the new friend. I was the newest one. I was the youngest and newest one. I'm still the youngest one, thank God. And they're all so upset every time we like, how old are you again? Which is gonna happen in rehearsals. They'll ask me my age, and they're like, God damn. uh, we were roommates because I was the young, fresh, new one in the band.
Fresh
So
meat.
like, yeah, exactly. I mean, even though Michael and I were friends for a long time, we met in the '90s, and when he lived in Atlanta, and he moved to New York shortly after that. So we knew each other many, very close and very friendly. And after the first, this is embarrassing. You ready for the embarrassments?
Yeah, tell me.
I have like a sleep. What do you call it? I have sleep disorders. Not the one where I can't, where I wake up and can't move. The one where I move when I'm not fully awake.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah.
opposite. I just did it the other night. I told my wife I woke up in a dream, and I was attacking the like whatever was trying to get me. I was going after it in the dream, and I said in my dream, I said, "I'm gonna get you." So that's what I said as I woke up to my "I'm gonna get you." She knows how to like wake me up when it's like happening.
Hmm.
So, but this time I woke up saying that stupid, which is scary. But Michael and I hit the hotel after the first gig, so like I guess I must have been in some kind of like weird state of emotions and like biorhythms and all kinds of stuff because like finally like it happened like it took years to get to this point of like did the show like years of build up and then poof, show done, hit the bed like exhausted, pass out. I woke up standing over Michael. It's never happened to me where I woke up standing up. Never. This was the first time, only time, and I was face to face with him. I'd had my face right, and I was just screaming like as loud as I could. I woke up screaming, standing, and I woke up to Michael's face on his pillow, and he got the shit scared out of him. He like he scrambled like up the wall. I immediately like threw myself back because I knew ultimately what happened because I wake up with these like all the
Hmm.
time. It happens on the tour bus. Everyone occasionally I'll just go in the middle of the night. If I'm sharing a hotel room, I'll probably shout out at some point if we share long enough.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, yeah, that was how the that was after the first show at Philadelphia,
Uh-huh.
and yeah,
Honestly, I'll tell you I relate because I have family members that'll do like my mom has
uh-huh.
those, but also sometimes I have something similar where I feel like I'm falling
Yeah.
and like I just jolt up.
Hmm.
Like it's really freaky. Like it kind of messes with my head.
They
You
say
can't.
that's from when we were monkeys sleeping in trees. That's an instinct that's hardwired in, like that sense
Yeah,
of falling out of the tree when we
it's
were tree
scary.
sleepers.
Hey, I mean, what I wouldn't do to go back to being a true sleeper, huh? I mean, that kind of sounds like the life.
I know. I would love to live in a tree. And well, I don't know. I don't like. You can get fucked up living in a tree. They're gonna eat you. Animals are gonna eat you.
Well, let's see. We have like 4 minutes left, and I don't want to get cut off. So I'm gonna start with like the D introduction.
Okay.
Conclusion, that's the word. Thank you so much for joining me. I know this has been like 6 months in, planning, and I think you enjoyed it. I mean, this is pretty
Yeah,
fun, you
I
know?
love doing interviews. I love talking to the youth too.
Oh yeah, this is where it's at. And I already told some friends. I've already pre-booked some friends that they're going to be coming to the next Swan show.
Great.
I need to like convert them. I need to baptize them. Like
Okay.
that's what you do.
I want to see this happen.
Oh
I
yeah,
hope it
it'll be fun.
works.
I mean, even at
Yeah.
your Atlanta show, I was very surprised and happy to see the amount of high schoolers and like people that I knew just hanging
That
out.
was something I noticed on the last tour that was very much stood out was kids your age. I was way more kids your age. I know why it is too, but it was like I was just shocked. Very interesting. Uh, so that means that by the time I start touring WeO, I can text you when we're in Atlanta and you can bring like five of your friends.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I like I wasn't joking about booking. Like I run like a booking thing with some buddies. We can totally get in like the coolest venues in town, get all the youth in,
All right,
all the coolest bands, make it a night,
done.
you know?
It's a noted.
There you go. But yeah, I really appreciate you, being down to earth and talking to me about all this awesome stuff, being vulnerable. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for people to see birthing, to see the grand finale and how incredible it truly is and how like you stay up thinking about it. I listen to it every single day during orchestra. Like I'll leave, I'll go to the rooms, I'll play it, and let it reverb around my head. It's incredible. It really is.
I'm
So
glad that you like it. That for me, that bodes very well. I'm always nervous how it's gonna land. Like I usually, if I feel like if I really like it, like I'm not sure that it's gonna slap as hard for everybody else. Because when everything feels like slightly off to me, everyone seems to like it even more. Like I have a slightly inverse thing. I thought this one came out really good, and
it's
I
pretty
think we just
incredible.
get better as we go. Is all
Yeah,
ultimately
I mean, red yellow is my favorite. I love like red yellow is so cool. Like the
awesome.
chanting in that. But yeah, I don't want to get cut off. Thank you so much. It has been an honor and a pleasure. Hopefully one day I'll be in Brooklyn for this or
Yeah,
that.
hit me up.
And next time you come down, I make a promise to all the artists that play the variety in particular. Come
Mm-hmm.
down, we'll get some fried chicken. There's a joint right up there.
All
Crazy
right.
good. Okay?
And if we come, you'll be on the list.
Appreciate it. Have a great night and see you soon.
All right, buddy.